Hey everyone, and welcome to Kemp Outside. I'm Kevin Kemp, and today we're going to talk about how to clean a tent. We just got back from our awesome trip to Mistletoe State Park near Appleton, Georgia. We spent a week there, but when you go to Georgia, a lot of times you get a lot of that red Georgia clay everywhere, and our tents are no exception. So we've already dusted this tent out, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to use some dishwashing detergent to clean it and make sure that it's prepped and ready to go. So what we're going to do today is we're going to use a hose and some very simple dish soap to wash things out. So if you zoom in here, you can see we've already dusted out the floor of the tent, so it actually looks pretty good, but we're still going to clean it. But you can see down here, basically right here, you can see that it's still pretty dirty. You don't want to leave your tent stored with dirt in it because that will break down the barrier of the tent that helps keep it waterproof. We also had a little incident on this trip where we broke a tent pole. And that happens occasionally with these fiberglass poles. So what we did was we took an extra tent stake that we always carry around. We took some tape out of our med kit and we made a splint for a tent pole. That's a great thing to do if you're just at the start of your trip, just setting up and you break a tent pole. That's a great way to not have to cancel your trip or run to the store. So we're going to be ordering a replacement tent pole, and we're going to show you how to change out a tent pole, broken tent pole, in a future video.
Good. All right.
So now that we've got the tent all washed out, it's still wet. We definitely need to let it dry. The best way to let a tent dry is to hang it up. So we're going to remove the tent poles, and then we're going to hang it in our building to dry. So with that, we're going to get to work. Okay, so now that we're ready to take the tent down to let it dry, I've got my son Garrett here who's going to be my assistant. He's normally my cameraman, but today we've switched places. So Garrett, go ahead and zip the tent closed. I like to keep everything closed on my tent because I feel like in storage that's the least chances of zippers to get damaged. So we zip it up, and then we're going to go ahead and release the clips on the poles. We start at the top and kind of work our way around. And as he works his way to the bottom, I'm going to move in and give him a little bit of assistance so that we can make sure that we're not putting too much pressure on these poles. Especially because we've already broken one. All right. We're going to release that clip there. All right, now what we're going to do is release this little catch here that holds the tent up. Garrett, go ahead and hold the pole so that it doesn't
fall on us.
Doesn't fall down. And of course I'm trying to do this one-handed and it's not easy. So I'm gonna maybe let's see if that did it. That should do it. Yep. Okay, so the tent's down. Now you can easily remove, you can just either, I've got Garrett, go ahead and you can either just step on it or use your hand. If you step on it, be careful with it. And go ahead and work your way over there. Okay, now we can just lay those poles down. All right. So there we have it. We're going to remove the rest of the poles and then we're going to hang the tent. So here we have the tent all hung up. We hung it up from the rafters of our garage. So if you don't have a garage, a great thing you can do is to hang it up in a tree on a nice day. Sometimes I'll lay it over my boat or the car. But you definitely want to get it up off the ground, and you want to get it where it can drain. So by tomorrow it should be dry, and we'll show you how to pack it up. So hopefully you found this useful. Being able to maintain your tents is a great way to ensure their longevity. Most tents only last a certain number of years. I think Eureka says that their tent lifespan is about 7 years. Right now I'm using a tent that I've had for at least 10 years because I take care of it. And so it stays in good shape, the zippers are taken care of, it's still waterproof, that kind of thing. Primarily because I clean my tents and I hang them to let them dry, and I re-waterproof them when I need to, which we'll cover in a future video. But you really want to maintain your tent. It's a great investment, and you definitely don't want your tent to be in bad shape when you go on a camping trip and it rains or that kind of thing. So if you found this useful, please hit that subscribe button. Share some tips and tricks that you use to keep your tents clean and maintained in the comments. If you have any questions, definitely put those in the comments as well. And thank you for tuning in. This has been Kemp Outside. We're your inside source for all things outside. Until then, we'll see you next time.